You know, World Cup fever. Thank goodness it only comes once every 4 years. Otherwise, the whole world would be stuck to their cell phones and televisions like I am right here at a viewpoint which is not too far from where we live. As you can see, we have incredible views and you can see almost all the way to Ilhéus out in the distance. Beautiful place to sit down and watch World Cup soccer once in a while.
Ele é titular absoluto dessa defesa.
Escanteio. Na bola parada. O geral tá lá dentro da grande área. O Eustáquio é o cara da responsa dessa bola parada. Vai para autorização. Agora sim, bate fatiado nela na marca penal. Toque de cabeça do Johnston em cima da marcação.
And then, of course, it's time to go home and continue watching the World Cup as I stand here painting, facing the television. And because we live near a very small town, once in a while we hear about impromptu concerts like these where musicians come together and jam for a couple of hours like what I saw here. So sit back and enjoy.
Español. Los amigos que nos metan a todos de acuerdo.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm very passionate about painting in watercolors. And to that regard, I've launched a second YouTube channel where I post start to finish painting lessons. So if you would like to learn how to paint watercolors like me, please subscribe to my art channel as well. So today we've hired our gardener to trim and direct the bougainvillea bushes that are starting to encroach into our house. And it's always a good idea not to have these kind of things growing into your house because they actually end up becoming a sort of a bridge, if you will, for wildlife to crawl into your house. And that's the last thing you want to be doing when you live in an environment like us, because we do have snakes and things like that around here. We don't see them much inside our compound because we've got a very tall wall. But nonetheless, we don't want to make it easy for them to come inside our house at night because that's when they're active. And the easiest thing for them would be to do is to climb up these bougainvilleas and into our house, which is sort of an open concept. It's not a completely sealed up house where the walls meet the roof. It's actually open. And it's a great way to get wind from the nearby ocean, but it's also a good way to get people or animals or critters to crawl into the house. So that's the plan for today. Our hired help is pruning them and tying them up and directing them to the other side. So hopefully in the next couple of months, they will be trained to grow away from the house.
This is sharp. I don't play with this. Esse aqui é falado. Tem que ter cuidado.
You know, one of the big advantages of living where we live is that there's never a dull moment because we rarely have free time. If it's not cleaning the yard, as you see Elci doing right here, it's cutting down trees that have dead limbs. It's pruning trees that need pruning, taking fruits down from fruit trees that surround us, to planting flowers, to pruning flowers, to watering plants. The list go to cleaning the pool, in my case, painting, in Elci's case, doing her seamstress hobbies. The list is endless for us to keep ourselves busy on a daily basis. Plus, it gives us time to take a nap every afternoon. We love it here. Gonna go pee-pee? Okay, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Go pee-pee.
Já também quando eu solto o rapaz.
So as you can see here, the limbs that were invading the house have been cut back, and the flowers have all been tied up to where they're pointing this way. So they're hopefully going to be trained to not go growing towards the house. Much better. So we've got a couple of spare bougainvilleas growing in containers, beautiful pink ones, and we're going to plant them right here, with the idea being that they're going to grow here and then eventually over our main gate, and then we'll put a support over here to where they will end up meeting with these ones, and this part is going to be covered with this sort of a trellis, and that way we can park our car underneath the bougainvilleas if we want. Nonetheless, even if we don't park anything, it would just be a covered space covered with bougainvilleas. That would be amazing for the summer months. The peak of summer here, as people know, is December, January, February. You know, as many of you have seen before, our dog Bella, she's like a shadow to me. So wherever I go, she's always close by, always. Even here, where our gardener is actually pumping poison into the various ant holes around our yard, from which ants have been coming out to destroy some of our plants and fruit trees. So it's very important to control this every year, once or twice. So as I'm starting to take my watercolor painting more and more seriously, I've got to share something with you. It's a dream of mine to one day host painting workshops right here in Bahia, Brazil, where people come from all over the world, perhaps, to paint alongside me for a week to 10 days and basically combine a beautiful beachside holiday with their desire to paint and learn from me. That's a dream of mine.